Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
To continue with our Fringe guests, and again, Fringe starts next week, and it goes on for 2 weeks. You can go to orlandofringe.org to get your button that allows you to know all shows.
You got to get the button first, and our next guest, $12 at the door, gets you in. It's at the Leu Gardens location.
Yeah.
Now, I live next to Leu Gardens. I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I'm a massive fan of Leu Gardens.
Where in Leu Gardens is it, Sandy?
It's inside the main building in the classroom that's called the Palm Room.
Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. But with us from the show, Bugged Lady Squishing the Patriarchy.
Yeah. Sandi Linn is here.
It is Sandi Linn.
How you doing, Sandy?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So tell us about the show. And now I know you brought some, there's a tarantula in front of me.
I feel like we've finally become what I've always wanted to be as a young boy. Okay, you ready?
Okay, yeah.
Right now, we are Johnny Carson.
Yeah. I've always wanted more animal guests.
They don't do them right now. They don't do them right
now.
Though they don't. They're all too wacky. And then you got stupid Jimmy Fallon laughing at everything. No, it had to be organic. You can't really laugh at the tarantula on your nose. It has to be organic. You can't just start laughing at everything and then expect us to laugh. We know you're faking, Jimmy Fallon.
So, Sandy, tell us about the show and how'd you get involved with Fringe?
Okay, well, I have been known as the Bug Lady for many years when I do programs for children because I have a whole bunch of bugs that I love to talk about.
That's awesome.
And so then one day I thought my old life way long ago was in theater, and I thought, you know what, why don't I come back to that and put something together and put the bugs in a show? So I did. But I did.
Isn't it fascinating how many theater people that we interview during these weeks that we get to interview Fringe performers that were theater people but then went on to do something else fantastic, but then that bug of theater, pun intended, is still in there, right? And then they come back. Because Tim was like that. Tim from the what was the Multitude? From the Multitude show. It was like he went on, he did other things, but then later in life, he's like, you know what?
Why not combine this? And Fringe is the perfect venue to do that.
Because you can do anything. Well, I guess let's start with bugs and how you navigated that. Was that? Let's go to first theater. So what was the first thing you did in theater? Was it when you were like a young kid? Where you're like
I did children's theater in California, and then we ended up moving the company to New York. And so I was there in New York for 10 years doing children's theater, and then I got into cabaret performing. And
well, hold on a second. I thought you were just performing a little bit. If you're moving an actual theater group.
Yeah, it was small. It was a small theater group.
But still, 10 years to do.
Yeah, it was fun.
Was it considered community theater? Or?
No, we traveled to schools mostly. And so we would go out of the New York area, and then we'd do libraries in New York City. And it was fun.
That's great.
Fun.
How would you get into bugs?
That's another interesting story. So when I was being an actress, but really a waitress, I thought, I got to do something else with my life. So I went back to school, and I got a degree in environmental sciences, and I started working at zoos. So I worked at a zoo for a long, long time. Like, I don't even want to tell you how many years. And so then that's where I kind of narrowed down what I was really interested in, and it ended up being bugs.
Fringe people have the most interesting lives of almost any of the people we interview, because I feel like the vast majority of them, not all, because we're here, but are smart.
Now, what kind of bugs? Because there's a lot of them.
There's a lot.
Right. So really it's invertebrates, because everything I brought today is an invertebrate, but it's not a bug, because it has how many legs?
A bug 8. Or a
good.
A vertebrate.
Good.
I
Everything
know
I brought
bugs.
has 8 legs.
He does know bugs.
They're not bugs. Arachnids.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I have a collection of different kinds of insects and arachnids and millipedes. And
did you get a flashback
like
of a child screaming at you at in a classroom? Because that's what that felt like.
It did, right?
8!
Yeah, there was some trauma there, right?
Well, I just looked at the spider.
I know. I saw you counting them.
Yeah.
He can do numbers. That guy's on numbers. He's crunching them hard.
I'm like, if there's 4 legs, there's got to be 8. So, and then let's get into your favorite bugs and then the show, and how'd you weave the bugs into the show?
Right. So, so the show, and again, like you said, Fringe is just the perfect opportunity for somebody like me that's crazy that says, hey, why don't I pretend that I'm an entomology professor And I've been just wronged by men my whole life because a woman going into this field back in the late 70s when I was going to college just wasn't accepted. So I thought, let's do that, and I'm get revenge on these men that wronged me with my knowledge of bugs and toxicity.
This is right up Sam's alley. This is right up. Kill them all with the bugs. Get them good.
It's also funny because your husband carried all your bugs with you.
Am I allowed to put you on camera for one?
You're going to do something.
Please don't kill me.
And he came and he's holding.
In fact, I saw him.
A bunch of cages.
I saw them at the door.
Spiders.
He's holding all of them. I got them.
Like holding like bags for my wife at the mall. She wanders around.
Yeah, but he's a good guy. He's also my producer. He's a fabulous producer.
Awesome,
if anybody needs someone to produce their Fringe show, I've got somebody you could hire.
That's so great.
But yeah, he's not the patriarchy I want to squish.
So in the show, you discuss how you would kill or get your revenge on these men who wronged you using the
science of bugs toxicity. Is that what?
Yeah.
So we learn a little bit
Murder
in a very morbid way.
Yeah. So you are the students in the classroom.
Okay.
I am teaching you, and then I kind of go off on these tangents about how I was wronged.
This is a crazy idea. You realize that, right? I like it. That's super creative, man.
Sandy,
well done.
Let me tell you about what I know about bugs.
This is what he likes to do. I don't know if you're familiar with our show, but we invite experts in, then we tell them what we know, and then they look at us like, man, I'm wasting my life here.
So I believe, based on my
I
knowledge...
thought you said what you knew. Now it's what you believe. That's very different.
He's flim-flamming over here.
The tarantula, which I believe there's a tarantula.
What did you call it?
Or tarantula?
Tarantula.
No, first you called it tarantula.
Yeah.
Well,
my
father
was a good Virginia Southern man, and my father too said tarantula. Tarantula.
Okay, well, the tarantula, as far as I know, is not that poisonous because its actual bite. It's a smaller fang, so it's harder to pierce through human skin. And then
that's what I've always heard.
Even if it does, I don't believe it's high.
But we may not know that we may be wrong.
I believe the most poisonous arachnid is the Australian tunnel spider.
Okay, I do have to stop you right there.
Please do.
A little bit right there.
I need to correct you. Yeah. Venomous, not poisonous.
Well, you
get him.
Our listeners know,
you got
Sandy.
the first question wrong. You didn't even put your name on the SAT.
They get the gist of what I'm saying. Poisonous, venomous, tomato.
Wait, venom is a nerve
is
thing,
injected.
Right? Injected.
And poison generally is ingested.
Oh, okay.
Tomato.
Yeah, the poison's inside.
Ingested. I say injected.
Was I right about the spiders?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
All right, there it is.
But I need to also point out, you'll see that this spider here is covered with hairs. Now, that's its first form of defense, not the venom.
It's my wife's first form of defense, too.
I'm sorry. Come on, why did you say that?
It can fling those hairs, and if they get under your skin, it's like causes quite a rash.
It can sling hair?
Oh, I didn't know that.
It doesn't throw it. It takes its back leg and it kicks it off. And if it gets under your skin, it can be really irritating. It can, make a big rash.
That's terrifying.
But they aim for the eyes of predators sometimes.
Oh my God.
And if it scratches the cornea, it could lead to blindness.
Oh my God. I can only imagine my wife throwing her pubes in my eyes to run away from me.
It's just got scarier.
Are they venomous?
They are, but like you said, there's all sorts of different degrees of toxicity between different spiders, and
it's a gorgeous spider.
So this one is very docile too. This is one of those
boy, girl, doesn't.
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
What's her name?
Her name is Rosie.
Rosie.
She's a rose-haired tarantula, Chilean rose-haired tarantula.
Chilean.
And when
Chilean.
In the wild,
injected.
I say Chilean, don't I?
Yeah, in
Chilean.
Do tarantulas live on the ground in the wild?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they mostly live on the ground. Yes, and they burrow and they travel. They migrate sometimes. Big groups of them will migrate.
How long do they live for?
Well, that's a good question too. I know that Rosie is a female because she's about 10, maybe 11. They can live to be about 25. But males only live to be about 8.
8 years old.
Something like that.
They only go 8, and the ladies live to be 25. So the guys, they get right around the age of our kids, and the girls, they get to rent a car. Isn't it 26, 25, 24?
Well, the male tarantulas are just there to get the female pregnant.
Right.
You know, they just die off. You know, in the insect world,
tells you a lot, doesn't it?
There's a lot of insects relationships where the males are immediately killed
like
after
the praying mantis.
Okay. Can I tell you about that?
Yeah, please.
When you bring these things up, it is true. Now, a female praying mantis will often, not always, but often kill the male right after they breed because she needs those proteins in his body to develop the eggs. But what you never hear, right after she lays her big egg case, she dies. So they both give up their lives for the next generation.
That's fake news. No one ever says that.
Nobody
You're right.
ever says that. They always blow the female kills the male.
Interesting.
Yeah, she makes
That's a typical guy thing to do, right? Oh, she killed me, but she died too, man. But she still killed me.
So with the tarantula, there's a lot of tarantulas in movies, and we've seen them.
I think they villainized them like sharks almost,
Yeah,
right?
and like arachnophobia.
Everybody would be afraid of it, and really, I never heard of any of my friends ever getting hurt by a tarantula.
Well, because it's big and hairy and scary looking, but...
I thought you were going to say something. My dad used to say, big and hairy and hard to carry. It is just inappropriate.
And so I've never seen, like, when they throw the tarantula on one of the
like
wet
John
bandits.
Goodman.
No. One of the...
Marv.
Marv, when the tarantula lands on Marv's chest...
It could have kicked hair in his eye.
Yeah, could have done that?
Yeah,
No,
did crawl on his nose too.
Can you brush the hairs off?
Yeah, do they like stick in?
Well, they can because they'll land on you and you'll itch, and so you'll scratch them and you can scratch them in yourself. Yeah,
oh my God, it's
but
like
a lot of
fiberglass.
people do hold them, and if they're not kicking the hairs off, they're not bad. I think I have kind of almost an allergy to it, though. I don't like to hold her because she doesn't like it, so I show her in this.
Yeah, leave her
all the
be.
time. Yeah.
Now, what are some of the other?
Okay.
Are they all spiders? Or
they're all arachnids, but
Okay.
they're not all spiders. What else has 8 legs? Oh God, I'm talking to a group of kids. What else has 8
I mean,
legs?
you are.
Yeah,
It's fine.
Yeah, I was trying to
if you
help.
need an adult, or if anyone needs to potty, please raise your hand, and Samantha will escort you to the bathroom.
I was trying to help my
have my
son
black
with his. He's got assessment tests this week or whatever, and they had the practice test. And
That right there's a tarantula.
I was reading the question. I was like, I'm sorry, son. I got At this point in life, you're on your own because your questions
You're a man
are
now.
too hard for me to answer.
Whoa!
The chat room is screaming scorpion. Okay, we do have a scorpion.
Oh man!
The chat room's smarter than us.
The scorpion is.
Yeah. So this is an actual scorpion. Oh, good. I sent my wonderful producer husband Alan out to get my black light, which I left in the other room.
Okay.
Because this is the coolest thing. Okay, so this is an Asian scorpion.
Okay,
it is a true scorpion. It does
let me
have.
put him on the camera so people can see.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Camera's in front.
Oh,
There
There he is. Perfect.
So he's got a ball at the end of his tail called a telson, and it does have venom in it, and then it's delivered through his stinger, which works like a hypodermic needle. They don't always use their venom, though. See, speaking of venom, a lot of animals don't want to use it because they have to kind of then manufacture it again in their body. So I've had a scorpion just like this one that would, grab a cricket with one of its pedipalps, these things, and then beat it over the head with the other pedipalp and then eat it and never use its venom at all. So they don't always use it. But the coolest thing about scorpions is this. They glow under a black light.
They have the same
Holy
reaction
moly.
as what does.
Oh my God.
Our Air T&D.
The Air T&D sheets.
Yeah.
We'll just call
These
it
sheets have been pre-scorpion.
Yeah, maybe we should say
Scorpion marks.
there's just a bunch of scorpions used
No,
to be. I think it's better.
Now, why does the scorpion glow under the black light?
So there's a protein in its exoskeleton that causes it, but why it evolved, no one's really quite sure. There's just some theories about it.
He's huge too. That is a big boy.
Yeah.
What's his name or her name?
I don't really have a name for this one.
I like that. Look at that tail. Oh my God. That
So
is so
that's
cool. Look at
let's-
that thing, Tom.
Let's say that got me with the tail, right? What kind of damage would that cause?
This particular species, it'd be like a bee sting. So
Okay.
unless you had an allergy, you'd be fine.
Gotcha.
But there are some, and then I always have kids say to me, it's the little ones that are worse. And the truth to that is that one of the smallest scorpions is the most deadly in the world. But that doesn't mean all small scorpions are that venomous. So we have little tiny ones here in Florida that aren't going to hurt you at all, but people panic because it's small. It must be, horribly toxic. So that's
I've seen some I've seen them before.
They're like see-through white. I've seen those before out in Peace River.
Yeah, and they rip.
Yeah.
They're fast.
Yeah, and they're little. They're little bark scorpions. They're not going to hurt
bark scorpions.
This one is cool. This one I'll take out. This one I hold.
Oh, you're holding that with your hand now.
Oh, wow. Oh, hold on.
What is
this
that
guy? Wild thing?
And
you're like holding it with this big grin on your face. I love it.
Because they're so cool. This is a whip scorpion. Not a true scorpion at all, but it mimics them, right? It's got the pedipalps in front, but it has no stinger.
Is that because it evolved to lots of insects and fish and stuff? They evolved to look like something so that other predators don't attack them?
Yes, mimicry. That's exactly what
nice
that is.
Job,
yeah.
buddy. You're on the board.
Gold star.
Guys, good.
It's almost like I know everything.
That's what I tell
myself.
Tommy's homework.
Put that on a shirt. Put that on a shirt. Tom knows everything.
It's also called a vinegaroon because the only thing it can really do is put this stuff
A vinegaroon? Your feet are vinegaroons. His feet. He has an uncontrollable foot odor. Do you guys know anything about that?
Why would you tell our guest that?
Well, she said vinegaroon, and then I couldn't think of anything but your feet.
So, where is this native to?
Actually, right here in Florida. This
Really?
one,
Never seen this
This
before.
one,
That's a
they're
Castleberry vinegaroon right there.
This one comes from Arizona. They're bigger in Arizona. Ours are a little smaller.
Everything's bigger in Arizona. She went to Sedona to sit on a boat.
I said not to say that anymore. I'm sorry.
I'm doing a comedy show.
But ours are really, really secretive here. They hide. Oh, look, he's kind of waving his things at you. They hide under logs and stuff. You never see them. I've never seen one.
That's really odd. What do they eat?
Crickets and other insects.
So you just
other stuff.
put a couple crickets in there and he's good to go.
Yep.
How often do you have to feed them?
They, all these arachnids only eat like every other week, if then. They really don't eat much.
So what does the tarantula eat?
Crickets.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just put some crickets in there.
And everybody gets a cricket.
Yeah.
And a cricket wireless. They all have a little tiny.
What's the most dangerous arachnid in Florida?
Or is this going to be one of those things where they go, look in the mirror? I hate those. Don't you guys hate those? Have we had enough of those? Who's the most dangerous predator on the planet? Look in the mirror. You disgusting slob. You're tearing everything
You said that
apart.
because of Snake Guy said that.
Everybody says, I'm sick of being played for everything.
Now, I had heard, so we got the Black Widow, but then there's also the brown recluse, which I believe is more venomous, venomous, than the Black Widow.
It's actually not native either. The brown recluse is not native, and it's really not here. It's not that prevalent here. They're here, but every time it's a problem because a lot of times when people get a spider bite and they have a bad reaction, they might even go to the hospital, and the doctors I've heard will say, "Oh, I have the brown recluse," but it's not because there's not that many of them here. They're not native.
Remember the one spider bite I got where
your belly
brown recluse?
It was eating. I don't think it was a brown recluse, but whatever it was killing me because it got huge and it got like a big red circle. Then it started going up.
Oh,
in my
that's
brain
bad. Yeah, that's
then,
bad.
but I didn't know anything, and I'm a hypochondriac. And he was like, "Well, why are you using your hypo powers?"
You
for
just
that?
told me you had bone cancer, and then you got a goddamn brown recluse
Yeah, it was
spider.
killing me. And then I went there, and the doctor was like, "Yeah, man, this was bad." And it was either a Black Widow or something that got me.
Yeah, it could. Yeah.
And they had to treat it, and it was like, don't mess around with the spider bites.
No, don't mess around. I mean, I'm not trying to belittle it because they can be really bad. It's just they're not always brown recluses.
No.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Not everything's an emergency.
But is that what you have to worry about the most in Florida, or do you have to worry about any of this? Because for the most part, spiders are leaving you alone. They're minding their own business.
Absolutely. And I always tell people, if you see a spider in a web, just walk around it. They're doing us a huge favor by being there in that web. They're catching things that are, flying around. And you see those big, my favorite spiders are the golden orb weavers. They're big, huge spiders.
Oh, the big banana spiders?
That's what they call them, banana spiders. But they're
those are the worst.
I don't want to call them
the woods.
banana spiders. She called it a golden orb
golden orb
weaver.
weaver. They're not banana spiders.
That's like calling a garbage man industrial waste.
I've walked through plenty, even rode my four-wheeler through plenty of Florida woods where their face height, that's the problem with them.
Yeah.
Is that when you're walking through and I can't see anything, so I'm walking through the woods and
why do you walk like this?
I walk
like a cartoon giant.
and then I can't see, and then all of a sudden a banana spider or whatever,
huge.
the golden orb,
weaver,
is right in your face, or that you hit it, and then it's somehow scurrying down your back,
and it's got some weight to it.
But they're harmless.
Oh,
correct?
they're harmless, and those are females. Always the females are the big ones, or the little guys.
That's what I tell my wife. I'm like, you're the big one.
But the important thing to remember, usually they're somewhere near water. So they are trying to catch the mosquitoes that are flying to that water that are going to lay their eggs, or they're catching the babies after they've gone through their metamorphosis in the water and they're flying out of the water.
I root for the golden orb.
So,
get them all. Get all those mosquitoes.
They're fabulous. So, and their webs are incredibly strong and really cool.
Can we do anything with I'm surprised we don't have factories of spiders like we do cows.
What do you mean?
I'm being serious here. All of y'all, including our guests, are looking at me like I'm an idiot. We need a factory of spiders, and they're looming just nothing but like if Woody Harrelson can have hemp, we can have a spider factory and use their fibers for like Kevlar and stuff.
That's funny you'd say that, because they do. They have been doing some studies on that.
Who's the scientist now?
I was going to say that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No, it's true though. They say some of the golden orb weavers things are as strong as Kevlar.
Yeah.
Not particularly the species we have here, but they use them for fishing nets in I forget where.
Look at that, Mr. Fisherman. Fishing net, spiderweb fishing net.
What about
Man, that's really sustainable if you're using a spiderweb fishing net. You are Mr. Echo.
When I was a young boy growing up in Miami, there was these I'm not sure, there's like fuzzy caterpillars that had
the orange ones.
They had like hairs all over
the
body.
They had like a mohawk. That thing had a mohawk and it had little black things sticking and an orange mohawk, and I always looked at a little punk rock caterpillar.
You like the name? They're the puss moths.
Okay.
Really bad, yeah.
Puss moths.
And
never known that.
I would touch them, or they, I try to.
They sting you, don't
Oh
you?
yeah, they give me good.
Horrible. Those are probably one of the worst. Yeah, there's a couple of different hairy caterpillars that are really bad.
And now we can yell because we know where they are. God damn puss moth!
There's others too.
And what's the biggest caterpillar we have here in Florida? Because I've seen the the Amazon rainforest caterpillars that they'll bring.
Oh my God, don't know. It looks like it looks like a Bahama Mama at 7-Eleven. That thing is like a big hot dog.
Yeah.
Probably some of the moth caterpillars, some of the ones that go underground to pupate. They're pretty big. I don't know.
Okay, but not like those gigantic.
We don't have them like
mamas
that. No, I gotta go to the rainforest.
Okay, yeah.
Rainforest has got it all.
So what's the if we're gonna go cost? What's the most valuable arachnid
that's a great question,
or spider or scorpion that you have?
Well,
how much does the average tarantula cost?
So, I have a permit to have everything that I have, even though some of them you can get without a permit, but Florida's pretty strict about all that.
Yeah, and aren't they tightening things up again?
Yeah, they are.
I've been hearing a lot of rumbling since we've been talking about lizards and spiders and stuff. Yeah. I've been hearing a lot of FWC chitter-chatter, and people are like, I'm hearing that Florida's going to get a little tighter on pets.
Yeah, especially all the stuff that's down in the Everglades reproducing. Yeah. So, but what I get them from people that breed that is approved, people to buy them from. You know what I mean?
Right.
So they're not that expensive, really.
Okay.
It's the shipping though. You buy a spider for maybe $70 and shipping is $120. That's where it gets expensive.
And then it's just a guy in a tercel, right? He hand delivers it
overnight.
So Sandy, let's end with this because this is kind of based on what the show's about. So let's say,
and again, Leu Gardens. I'm sure you could. That's an easy venue to find. That's big. From the 18th to 28th, $12 will get you in. It's Bugged Lady Sandi Linn. Make sure that you go to OrlandoFringe.org. It's a little slow, so give it a little second to get you through there to get your tickets, but get a button first.
The age range is 13 plus.
Yeah,
so this
it's for everybody.
It's for kids too as well.
I'm also going to be I'm going to be at Kids Fringe on the 20th with my bugs and a wheel, and this guy here is going to be in a scorpion costume. So
Scorpion Alan.
Don't want to miss that.
Scorpion King.
God, why do you make him do that? Why do you do that? He's a good man.
He's supportive.
My wife's dressed like a cartoon house, sell some houses. I'm staying on the side. She'll put me out there. And speaking of
I
that,
love new construction.
Sandy, let's just say my wife comes to you and says, like, I need to kill my husband. I'm tired.
What do you need to look out for? Is that what you're saying?
I'm tired of all his bumbling, and my God, I have a question.
And you want to do it peacefully, and so she doesn't have to disrupt her life, so it looks like an accident.
Yeah. Well, she also wants the insurance money because she got
Yeah.
all this
This is
insurance.
definitely a tie a balloon to a handgun scenario.
Yeah. So she wants it to look like an accident.
Yeah.
So what would be the way to do that?
Well, I think you're going to have to come see the show.
God. There you go. I'll tell you.
He does that to me every week, asking about my show.
So the Australian funnel spider, the most deadly spider in the world.
Wait a minute, I thought it was a tunnel spider. Did you look it up?
No.
Looked it up.
I think tunnel funnel, same thing.
What?
It's some Australian funnel or tunnel.
The Australian tunnel spider sounds dangerous. The Australian funnel spider sounds like a party. Sounds like a party boy.
Which one is it? Funnel or tunnel?
It's either a beer funnel or a death tunnel. Like one sounds party, one sounds deadly.
Yeah, whatever it is, I'll find it on the internet.
And what are you going to call Sandy up?
And then, somehow you have to get it to bite me because I don't think they'll just naturally bite me while I'm sleeping.
I would put it in your, in your jockey shorts.
You'd have to irritate it in some way, like
no. What you would do, you don't want to harm it, right?
No.
And you don't want to leave
whip
any
it up
evidence.
into a frenzy.
No,
bite
no, you
crazy.
put it in the freezer for 3.5 minutes.
Okay.
For 3.5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it'll calm it down a little.
Okay.
It'll calm its central nervous system.
Okay.
And then you take it and you put it in the very bottom of your bikini briefs.
All right.
So when you take your shower and you get done for the morning and you go to slide them on, it's right down there. And then you're like, what?
And then it wakes it up.
Yeah, then it wakes it up. The intense body heat from you warms the spider. It activates it.
Yeah.
And then it goes bite crazy on you.
Yeah. And then I'm going to the
Then
hospital.
you're frozen. You're frozen in like neuropathy.
Yeah. I'm at Florida hospital. They're like, I don't know what's going on. Like, we don't ever get this. They don't treat it.
There's an Australian funnel spider in his underpants.
No, because I don't bother to take it when they're like, what'd you get bit by? I have no idea. And then they treat me wrong, dead. But don't have They don't know. You have to.
Well, that's great. That's what she wanted.
And your wife says it was just an act of nature.
Yeah, exactly. Sandy, thanks so much for coming by.
Oh, thank you.
We appreciate it. Go get your tickets. Buy those. Get your button first, though. Got to have a button before you get your tickets. Again, Leu Garden, Bugged Lady is the name of the show. Thank you guys so much for coming in.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. And
we'll be right back. Thank you so much.
Awesome. That was fantastic.
That was fun.
You were so good.
You guys are hilarious.
Well, we're kind of stupid acting, but
You're
hilarious. I'll
hilarious.
take the compliment. Thank you. Where did we put that, Sam?
Friday 1.
When's it going to be on?
Friday at
7
7 p.m.
You're the first segment. It's a full 30.
on Real Radio 104.1.
Yeah, cool.
7 o'clock.
7, yes. Sorry.
Very
also, our video editor is going to take a clip from this for social and Fringe through our partnership.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, nice meeting you guys.
Thank you guys.
All right, that was awesome. Do we have any more recordings today?
I don't know if he wants to finish this.
Probably,
or not.
yeah. No, Matt, his buddy sells trunk wine. So, I gotta save this. That was great.
Yep.
5, so 11, 12, 23, 7 minutes. Let's finish
Actually,
it up.
well, we could save the second segment for, I don't know if Hollowbox needs to promote something this weekend.
I was trying to look and I couldn't find anything, so
So you think it's generic?
probably. I
Okay.
can ask Pat, but it might take him a while to get back to me.
I guess we can go ahead and record a generic. We'll just leave it open-ended if Hollowbox needs to have it.
Speaking of poisoning your husband, did you guys hear about that Utah lady that poisoned her husband and then wrote a book about grief?
Really?
And then now they're charging her with his murder.
No shit.
I want to read the book.
It's called Are You With Me?
That's real crazy.
Yeah.
When you can kill someone, then write a
She
book.
poisoned him, and but they didn't know, I guess, until now.
God, be crazy if somebody did that to their parents.
poison them with a
Not me.
Moscow Mule.
A Moscow Mule?
Yeah.
Oh, they're delicious.
Hide a lot of flavors, too, because of that
I
ginger.
could never avoid their ginger charms.
She put fentanyl in his Moscow Mule.
Was it with fentanyl?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah.
So did he die of a fentanyl overdose?
Yeah.
What do you call a fentanyl Moscow
But then
Mule?
they know that? They just figured that he was a drug addict and he was hiding it or whatever?
Probably.
That's a pretty brilliant way to poison someone because no one looks at fentanyl. Because when you put...
No spoilers, but that's in a show I'm watching right now where they put it in somebody's...
Let's talk about it. Because it goes along with that.
Right, we got 13?
Yeah. Yes.
I'll bring us back.
Yep.
3, 2. Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So, Sam, what happened with this case?
What happened? No, I just saw recently a news story about this lady who... apparently her husband in his 30s, just died suddenly. She said she came home and she found him cold to the touch on their bedroom floor.
Heart attack.
She ended up writing I believe it was a children's book, which makes it even creepier, about loss and grief. And it's called Are You There? And it's about her experience with grief and losing her husband. And it turns out that this lady actually poisoned her own husband with fentanyl. She put it in his drink. And it's all coming out now.
Wow.
So now she is charged with his murder.
So, and I was just saying on Twitch before we started recording that...
What's her name? Is it Barbara Xavier?
I wonder how...
Corey Richins. It's Kouri.
Because fentanyl, it makes sense that it's a good way to kill someone with, because...
Hard to track if they actually took it themselves or someone poisoned them, right?
That's the thing, yeah. When they find, trace amounts of coolant in your system or something, coolant from a car or whatever.
Sure, no one's drinking that unless they're committing suicide, maybe, but...
Someone put this in your drink, or if, arsenic or any other traditional poisons, someone's like, oh, well, that's... someone poisoned you. No one's drinking arsenic themselves unless it's suicide. But with the fentanyl, you can be like, I don't know, he may have been a opiate addict.
Yeah,
and then,
had no idea.
I wonder how they proved that it was her that did it.
Well, they got search warrants, and they found the text messages asking to buy the pills.
Oh, all right, okay.
That'll get you.
It's funny,
wow, man. And she looks like one of those people that would get kind of caught up in that, almost like a self-help kind of, you know what I mean? I'm looking at the lady. I want to find a copy of the book.
You're a narcissist psychopath if you murdered someone and then write a book about the grief that you're going through from the person's death. It's like,
it's crazy.
Because it's above and beyond, I feel, what a normal person's capable of. Because I feel like even if a normal person got, pushed towards murdering someone, I feel like they wouldn't go above and beyond by writing a book about the grief of, you know what I'm saying? It's you're shoving everybody's face into it, and then you're the one who did it, which is extra crazy. But man, I bet there's probably going to be a lot of copycat.
The audacity of writing a book about grief when you know you're the one that killed somebody.
Oh, but there's plenty of people that do that. There's
insane.
A lot of people will be the thing that they adamantly claim they are not, right? She just was hiding.
It could be a way to cover it up too, because no one acts like that. So it could be ingenious, maybe.
It's so crazy. It's crazy.
Well, because who's gonna actually, murder someone then write a book about grief?
Right.
I'm sure it's that's not the way usually people. They're not acting suspiciously. If you murder someone. And you're probably staying away from limelight and not talking to the press.
I would imagine.
And then not mentioning much about it because you're just I have one story. I don't want to start, making people suspicious. But you write a book about it that you could throw the cops off.
Well, I got some questions, but do you know much about how much time had expired after the murder? Until the time she published the book on grief.
That I don't know.
Because to me that would matter, right?
This morning.
To me that would matter.
Well, it must have been a long time because to write and publish a book, I don't know if she published it yet.
See, I was going the opposite. I was going to say it wasn't a long time because that was one of the reasons why they were we should look into that maybe or something, That
could be the case. So the book is
it says for months. For months she worked on her book, and last month she appeared on Good Things Utah, a local TV show, to talk about the importance of her children's book on mourning.
I wonder what caused the investigation.
And she has 3 young sons with this guy.
Like, the police, I'm sure, when someone commits suicide or someone dies, homicide detectives do an investigation immediately, right? Because the first 48 hours are the most important, right? So for them to find, catch her months later, there must have been something else that caused them to go back.
I think the person that she was asking to buy these pills ratted on her.
Oh, okay, so way later. Maybe the person that...
I think when the toxicology came out that he died from a fentanyl overdose, they put 2 and 2 together, and they were like, hey, I think she may have poisoned him. Yeah. Because I provided her with the pills.
Yeah. Wow, he even told a friend that he thought his wife was trying to poison him.
Because something had happened, I think, on Valentine's Day, too, where he got, really, really ill, and he, for some reason, then had mentioned to a friend that he thought that she was poisoning him.
Yeah, she may have tried with something else.
Yeah, she probably did.
CL, CL is the name of
whoever they got the pills from.
Yeah, and it would appear if they're protecting that person, he might be cooperating.
Oh, no, I think so. Okay. I think that's why she got arrested.
Yeah, it says CL, who's the dealer. Dealer told detectives that at some point between December 2021 and February of 2022, Corey contacted the dealer and asked for prescription pain pills for an investor. The dealer said they obtained hydrocodone and left the pills at a property that Corey was flipping, picking up the cash and left them. A couple weeks later, Corey reached out again and asked for some of the Michael Jackson stuff. That's what you and I always ask for. According to court documents, Corey allegedly went to the dealer's home on February 11th and paid $900 for 15 to 30 fentanyl pills. He died 6 days after the pills were delivered to her.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to die of a fentanyl overdose, especially if
you
build
had
up
5 times the lethal amount.
Oh,
so
she packed
he was
she
never
packed his orange juice.
He never had a
it
chance.
Or whatever, put it or the Moscow Mule.
Yeah,
made him a Moscow Mule with 5 pills in it, and he's never taken it ever, and boom. That's scary.
Anytime you people do this and kill their spouse, it's the ultimate, and they mustn't really, really hate confrontation in any way. They're like, I don't like this person, and then in fact, I don't like them so much that I don't care if they're dead or alive.
But they also hate their children too, right? In a little way, because you're taking something away from them, right?
Yeah.
Or do they not think of that at all?
They don't think of it that way.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
Well, they're
narcissists,
right. Probably.
But man, that's got to not even for 1 millisecond you think, wow, maybe my sons would like their father around, even if he is a little bit of I'm not in love with him anymore.
Yeah, or just divorce him.
Well, who knows? Yeah, maybe she's got a side piece
that
she thinks would be a better dad or whatever.
Yeah. Or maybe this guy verbally abused her horribly. I don't know that.
And this,
right.
Who knows? We don't know anything except that she poisoned his ass.
Yeah, don't be poisoning. My God, why would you? And
who knows if this, dealer never came out, she may have never been charged.
I know, it's like my Tesla cameras. I think I can taste poison in anything.
I think fentanyl's pretty tasteless.
Yeah, no, I think I could taste. Is there fentanyl in that? I think I would be like, tastes gray.
The alcohol and everything in the drink probably, and even drinking half of it, you're already done.
I think I could drink half of it and be okay.
Apparently,
one sip, okay?
I don't know. Because
I've heard so many stories.
You can OD fast.
I've heard so many stories. I've heard the story of I've heard stories like this. There was a cop. He was called on the scene.
That's fake.
There was a homeless man that had died of fentanyl. The man was passed out. The cop pulls up, goes to administer, aid to the guy, gets a drop or a dust particle of fentanyl on his fingers, and he dies instantly.
Well,
I think that's scare tactics.
Yeah, those are the stories.
There is.
I know it is, but I don't believe it.
There are. I'm not sure if it's fentanyl, but there's some sort of drug that if you touch it, you can OD.
Is it crocodile?
No.
Remember what happened to crocodile?
Maybe fentanyl. They call it the gray death or something like that. Remember?
Yes. The gray death. That's why I always think of gray when I think of fentanyl.
They had to give cops the damn Narcan, so they carry around in case they get it on their skin.
Oh, I got some of that for our bathroom, by the way.
Narcan?
In case we have another overdose here.
Well, don't say that. People out there are like, what? Some business owners like, what?
Did you tell Mo DeWitt that we got extra Narcan in case we have another overdose here?
Let's do a couple of voicemails.
All right, buddy. If you guys want to leave us a voicemail message, we would certainly love for you to. But I'm gonna warn you. if you're using the app to leave voicemail messages, make sure you hold the imaginary button down. You have to have your thumb kind of on it and talk into it. If you lift your thumb up, I'm just going to get like a little clipped message. Let's try. This is a big one. Okay, the new hot topic on A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan is stinky feet. And now you have the ladies weighing in.
Hi guys, it's your friend Summer. I was just listening to the BDM OG recap, and I have to side with Tom on this one. I think foot stink is genetic. Unfortunately, I have been blessed with foot stink.
You're a brave woman.
I've tried everything. I've tried the crystal deodorant on the feet. I've tried Gold Bond powder. I've tried specific, like, organic crap that you put in your shoes, sprinkle in your shoes. Nothing helps. I wash my feet every single day. I wash between the toes. I wash.
She's clean.
Clean.
Yeah.
And still, and I've put them in new shoes, like brand new shoes. I've tried that experiment. Brand new, fresh, clean socks, brand new, fresh shoes. Still the stink comes, the stink pervades, and it's embarrassing. And I side with Tom. I know he's probably embarrassed when you want to like hide your feet.
Disability.
You want to hide them like under blankets or stick them in a bucket or something.
Well, he doesn't hide
It's
his.
really embarrassing. And I have passed my stank feet down to my daughter.
Oh no, Paige.
And
no.
we both have the stinkiest feet. And Mike and Kaden do not. Their feet are fine.
No.
Their feet smell like nothing. It's insane. Okay, bye.
Their feet smell like
now
nothing.
hold on, because I feel like people misunderstood my stance. I do think that there are people that will have stinky feet no matter what. Sure. I'm not sure that that is your case because we don't know because you
You're
don't
like
wash
the homeless
your feet.
guy that never had a haircut, and then we get your haircut. We're like, look at him, he's a prince.
Well, now you're victim blaming.
No.
Well, you've never
We're
tried
the victims.
it.
We're the one that had to smell
I'm
it.
the victim.
Yeah, I'm the victim. Who's the victim? We know that.
We have to be around this.
We know.
What do we call it?
Okay,
I'm very ashamed of it.
I know for a fact.
Vinegaroons?
I know for a fact. I'm gonna say this might break up our show. You have never, to my level of clean, taken a fingernail brush. You know the fingernail brush where you put it and then you go through your fingernails to get like. You've never taken a fingernail brush and gotten like good old Kid Rock shooting Bud Light yellow dial soap, America as it comes, and scrub antibacterial soap on your feet to the point where it almost hurts.
He hasn't scrubbed his feet ever.
And they turn red Rogan pink. and then they're clean.
No, it comes back. Summer's right. There's no.
You've never done it.
I don't think he's ever done it.
Yeah, but I don't
Don't
need
sit
to
here
do
and
it.
lie to us.
I don't need to do it because
There it
I
is.
already
There it is,
know
and there it is.
that it's
we figured. We
genetic.
got
It's
you.
who I am
That's
inside.
fine. You don't want
That's
to
what you want to
change.
believe.
That's what you want
That's
to
what
believe.
you
Inside
want to
is
believe.
stink
Yeah,
feet.
I want to believe I'm Superman.
Yeah.
I'm just saying is I can't change.
I believe I can fly.
You know.
You can't use that anymore, Sam.
I'm taking it back.
Yeah. I mean, you can't change your genetics. It is what it is. So there's no reason to fight
Everything's genetics to you.
it.
Yeah.
Because if you admit that there's something you could do, that's a lot of work.
I think I could scrub your feet clean.
No.
Would you let me do it?
No.
What if I bring all the stuff?
No.
Jesus let people wash his feet and anoint it with oil.
Mr. Rogers did that one time to
Did
the
he?
mailman.
Oh, yeah, he did make the mailman. Wash my feet, you POS
Mr.
mailman.
McFeely washed his feet?
I think so.
And it was a big deal because it was like in the.
Oh, no, it was a black guy. He let a black guy wash his feet.
Well, no, he
Wasn't it?
washed the
A black
mailman's
guy's feet.
Yeah. And
The
then
mailman was, Mr. McFeely was not black.
It was someone. It was
Someone
a big,
was black.
But it was a big deal on
It
TV.
was, yeah, he
because
washed a black guy's
It was
feet.
like the 70s, and so people were like, "What?"
Mr. Rogers is washing a black guy's feet.
Oh, it was a cop.
Yeah, it was the
Oh, it was the
cop.
cop.
It wasn't the mailman.
So
You know what? White or black, I'm never washing a cop's feet.
No. That's just fentanyl on them.
All right, bye.
Someone's going to be mad that
That's just-
I said there's fentanyl on cops' feet.
Dumb.
I needed an intro for tonight. I mean, we could do intros for all three because we finished, but it's up to you guys.
Oh, man, that's funny. That was Friday, too?
Yes.
All right. Okay, guys. So I guess we'll see you tomorrow. We're done, right?
Yep.